I've sailed across the seas, seen all there is to see. There's nowhere like home, proud that it's my own. The people that you meet, the sand beneath your feet, chilling at the beach. This feeling can't be beat, that's my Bahama land, yeah. Friends in every place, a smile on every face. Children at play, time with family today. Someone fill my plate, homemade bread, I can't wait. I can't get enough, I will always stay in touch with my Bahama land, yeah.
Rare Voice introduces Bahamaland, an unlimited nationwide calling plan for only $5 a month. So call home today and connect again with Bahamaland. Home never felt so close.
My Bahama land, yeah.
Free National Movement MPs blast Labor Minister Shane Gibson over his promise to expose tax dodgers.
To talk about exposing former members who cannot defend themselves in Parliament, I think that's, that we should take that very, very seriously, all right?
The Deputy Prime Minister downplays real property tax, plus the shameful bathroom conditions at one local park. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12, the Weekend Edition, starts now. Topping news tonight, two opposition members of Parliament blasted Labor Minister Shane Gibson following his promise to expose past and present tax dodgers within the Free National Movement. They say Gibson displayed political immaturity when he vowed to go after politicians who are no longer in the House of Assembly and therefore cannot defend themselves. Vonik 2 reports.
Member of Parliament for St. Anne's Hubert Chipman says he has no problem with Labor Minister Shane Gibson revealing his tax status. But what he finds offensive is Gibson's promise to expose former politicians from the Free National Movement who may have dodged their real property taxes over the years. Chipman says it's wrong, noting that while he can respond to Gibson on the floor of the House of Assembly, former F&M MPs cannot.
My life is an open book. I'm up to date with my property taxes as far as I'm aware. Unless he has something that I'm not aware of, but to talk about exposing former members who cannot defend themselves in Parliament, I think that's, that we should take that very, very seriously.
East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Peter Turnquest agrees.
That he would threaten members of the public, those members who are not sitting in Parliament today, with exposure of their personal information. I believe that is an attempt to silence the public from criticizing this government, and I think it's a very, very serious threat that no Bahamian ought to stand for.
The F&M MPs feel Gibson promised to expose their colleagues to intimidate them after the party called for the resignation of that messenger Ishmael Lightbourne. Despite urging Bahamians to pay their taxes, it turns out Lightbourne hasn't paid his real property taxes in at least a decade.
I'm not the chief coordinator for VAT or whatever. Let's say I'm behind on my taxes, all right? I'm not going out there and saying you need to pay your taxes. You cannot lump the two of them into the same bundle. Okay? So as far as I'm concerned, like I said, I fear nothing. I have nothing to fear. But you cannot put Mr. Lightbourne in the same bracket as somebody who is not working for government.
We cannot lose sight of the fact that this is the chief messenger who has been out saying that we're going to, if you don't pay your value-added tax, that we're going to put you before the court and prosecute you, take your assets in order to satisfy the bill. And yet we find for 10 years he has not made any attempt to pay his bill.
However, Turnquest suggested that if Gibson wants to play political games, he should take it one step further and expose those MPs on his side as well.
However, what I found offensive was that he suggests that he is going to release the list on the opposition members, present and past, but he makes some excuse about not exposing the default of his own members, government members, PLP members. And I think if he's going to be genuine about his intent to expose those who may be in default, then he must be honest and straight across the board and expose everyone. We have no difficulty on this side with that information being released because we know where we stand.
FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis has urged the government to table the tax status of all MPs and senators, starting with the Prime Minister and opposition leader. Reporting for NB12 Weekend, I'm Vonique Toot.
As parliamentarians go back and forth over who should be exposed and who shouldn't be, Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis downplayed the matter, telling NB12 that real property tax is not a tax Bahamians usually pay attention to. He says that's not an excuse for people who are behind on their payments, but it's a fact of life. However, he agrees with Gibson that the FNM has been hypocritical on the issue.
It'll be interesting to see the hypocrisy of those who scream. I know for quite a long time a number of them on that side, present and past, would have been arrested in their real property tax, for example. Because real property tax has not been a tax that Bahamians paid on a regular basis. It was usually paid when persons sold their property or when there's a need to refinance their properties, and that's when they seem to pay attention to it.
Davis says as far as he is concerned, there are far more pressing matters in the country to worry about.
Why should I be paying attention to a matter of that source? I think the inland revenue persons, those who are collecting taxes, they should seek to collect them. And those of us, I think I have more challenges to be addressing in the nation to determine whether a colleague or not is paying his taxes. He should be paying his taxes, and if he's not paying his taxes, there may be reasons why. And we have a larger and a bigger issues to be dealing with right now.
Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis warns that government's failure to consult police officers before putting them back on 12-hour shifts could result in rebellion. His comments come days after Police Staff Association Chairman, Inspector Dwight Smith, claimed that he was surprised that a decision was made to put police back on 12-hour shifts without consultation with the PSA.
Most important is communication. You must communicate with the police force. You cannot take individuals for granted. That's the most important thing, communication. When you force things down individuals' throat, that is where rebellion starts. That is when individuals rebel. So it's a matter of communication and transparency.
The 12-hour shift, which created infighting among various ranks of the police force, ended 3 months ago. However, in late December, Prime Minister Perry Christie revealed during a news conference that the reinstatement of the 12-hour shift was the subject of intense study. While Minnis says it's still unclear how effective the crime-fighting initiative was after it was implemented in September 2013.
It's very difficult to tell because at that particular time there's usually a lull in either event in criminal activities. I think one needs to thoroughly analyze what has been done, how it's being done, what were the problems encountered, the police had a problem, why did they have a problem, all of that. That's what progress is all about. Progress is about analyzing your data, looking at what happened in the past, and learning from the past.
Police are investigating the death of a 59-year-old Fort Lauderdale man who reportedly drowned during a diving expedition on Saturday. According to police reports, the victim and his wife were among several people on a diving expedition in waters off Stewart Cove around 2 p.m. when he allegedly drowned. The victim was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. His death comes 4 days after an 87-year-old American man allegedly drowned in waters off San Salvador. Back in January, a 70-year-old man drowned while snorkeling with others in waters off West Bay Street. In other news, the state of one of the public restrooms at Montague Beach has left some local beachgoers outraged. They say the facilities at the park have been left unfinished after months of construction, leaving people to resort to their own means, some of which have been described as a health hazard. Although there is another bathroom, which was described by some as unkempt, residents say facilities are still inadequate and the other bathroom is too far away. They're calling on the government to take action. According to Kendall Farrington, who frequently visits Montague Beach to play dominoes, visitors resort to using the bathroom in the ocean, in the bushes, or behind the fort. He claimed people have even used the bathroom in buckets and then discarded the contents in the sea.
We don't have no bathroom. We got to use the water or the bush. the government has, since the government has come in power, they did not do anything for Montague. They're lousy. The bathrooms need to be fixed. The tourists out here can't use the bathroom. They put sea fees all over the place over there. Some bring their own bucket, use it, and then empty it in the water. It's horrible, man. We need them fixed, and we need them like yesterday.
And Farrington wasn't the only beachgoer who had complaints about the public restrooms, which are fixed shut and in a state of disrepair. Locals claimed the bathrooms had been in that state for about 2 years.
Man, the shameful is not the word. It's the undescribable, you know. It's undescribable. It's no kind of excuse they could give you to get to that point and stop. It's no way. I like to come with you and sit, and sometimes you really have the need to use the restroom, and then you have to pick him and leave in the leisure time and try to go elsewhere at one of the fast food chain if you can't make it home. But, you know, it's really sad.
Another beachgoer confessed to our news team that she had to use the bathroom but had no idea what to do. And another, who did not want to be identified, called the situation embarrassing.
Yeah, I think the bathroom should be fixed because people who frequent out here, who come to the beach, who walk past, and there's no bathroom, no facilities, and I think it's kind of embarrassing.
And yet another Montague Beach visitor decried the situation as deplorable.
Well, I think it's deplorable because, like I say, you can see the state it's in, and it's been like that, I think, for over a year, 2 years now. And like I was saying, in terms of, and you got locals coming and tourists, they don't have nowhere to use any of the facilities, and I don't think it's good.
A vendor at Montague Beach also spoke to our news team. Maxwell Curry said he's written letters to the government asking officials to address the matter, but nothing has happened. He explained the location is often crowded on weekends, and he's witnessed people using the bathroom in the ocean and the bushes.
On any given weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, you can have 2,000 to 3,000 Bahamians out here in and out during the day, and especially a lot of families on Sunday. So it's hard when you have families and people who are at the park and they want to use the restroom, and you have to tell them there's no restrooms here in the park. And sometimes you see people going behind trees and bushes and stuff to relieve themselves.
Curry called it an environmental hazard. Sam Williams, president of the Bahamas Loving Care Association, said getting the bathrooms completed is one focus for his organization, especially given the site's popularity. Questioning why construction has apparently been halted, he called on the government to complete the work.
The other day, the kids come up here on a field trip. They want to use the bathroom. You know what happened there? I have to tell nobody that. And it made me so angry. So that's the reason why I'm calling you all to ask the government and authority, please come and finish this bathroom up here. Please.
When reached for comment, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Urban Development, Philip Brave Davis, said the original contractors signed by the previous government are being replaced, and the restroom should be open in the upcoming weeks. However, Davis noted there is another restroom building at Montague that is currently open.
I think their complaints are justified. These contracts to construct the two restrooms were awarded under the previous administration. And we were attempting to work with the contractors that were identified by them to complete it, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out, and because of the complaints we have given instructions to terminate the contract for the contractor who has not completed his work, and to have another engage immediately to have those works completed. So those works should be completed hopefully within the next couple of weeks.